Hi, my name is Dean Killian, and I'm very happy to be speaking in this video with you and standing with the earth. And one of the concepts that I often talk about in trainings that I offer on nonviolent communication is that all the research shows that 97% of our brains operate on an unconscious level. Research is also showing, as more emerges around neuroscience, that our brains, through evolution, have been hardwired to pay attention to the more immediate future than the distant future. I think that manifests in different ways for us as humans. One, for example, is it's a challenge for many people, for example, to put money away for retirement because we have trouble thinking that far in advance sometimes. And I think the parallel around the environment is that on a day that it's snowing, where we're not experiencing maybe climate change immediately, it can be hard to imagine or keep in our minds that kind of cognitive dissonance can happen around what's happening to the whole planet. And I think that sort of immediate thinking and our human incapacity sometimes to think more than 3% consciously can impact very much how we relate to the earth and other species. I know for myself that there's certain issues that I follow, and sometimes I take action and sometimes I don't. I remember a few years ago hearing about a species in the Yangtze River, a little porpoise that was facing extinction, and I was concerned about it, and I thought, well, there's other groups and organizations that are working on this. We're not going to let this porpoise go extinct. That was just unimaginable to me. And then I was really sad to find out, I think it was a couple years later, that that species did go extinct. So this was a sobering experience for me around, my own feelings of sadness and concern, how, rather than sitting with those feelings, that sadness, it can be easy to distance ourselves and to say, oh, well, it's going to be taken care of. I guess that was reassuring for me, but the reality is, even if some people were attempting to take care of it, that species still ended up facing extinction. So another species in the Sea of Cortez, which is just south of Baja California in Mexico, is also now facing extinction. This little porpoise is called the vaquita. It's the world's smallest sea mammal, and it's the only tropical porpoise or dolphin in the world. And I also have been following this issue for a few years, and this year I heard that there's only between 10 and 20 of these little porpoises left. So I decided that I wanted to get directly involved. And what was striking for me is that even though we can distance ourselves and have cognitive dissonance, that at the same time we are all, I really believe, very much connected. There is this interdependence for us as species. And I had heard about this issue in the news about the vaquita porpoise, and then one night I actually had a dream about them. And this dream made such an impression on me. It was a dream of two of these vaquita porpoises swimming together in the Sea of Cortez. Well, I assume it was the Sea of Cortez. That's where they live. It's a pretty small ecosystem, very small habitat. And they were swimming together in the moonlight. And this dream made such an impression on me, even though there were no words. I had this sense, I've never been to the Sea of Cortez. I had a sense that these porpoises were somehow reaching out to me, or I was connected to them somehow. And after that dream, I decided, I really, really want to get involved with this because I feel like I almost got a message from them. So since then, I've been working on getting a petition signed to save the vaquita porpoise. I've made donations to different organizations. And I also am doing other outreach to raise awareness about this porpoise. For me, I know some people might say, well, it's one species, so many are facing extinction, and so much is going on with climate change. But for me, it's been a powerful experience, even from a distance, because the Sea of Cortez is very far away from New York City, to actively take an interest in another species. And for me, they have a lot of meaning and beauty, even though I've never seen them in person. And again, even though it's from a distance, and this species is very shy. Unlike dolphins, they don't interact with humans very much. But for me, there is something still valuable. In my opinion, they have a right to live, regardless if they interact with humans. And this dream I had really deeply touched me, just about so many needs around beauty and freedom and full expression of life. So these experiences around both denial and deep connection have been profound for me. And for me, this is empathy in action. How can I be empathically connected to other human beings, empathically connected to other species, including our sister and brother mammals? I'd like to stay connected to all species, but especially with mammals, because I'm a mammal too. And also, even beyond animals. All the research is showing now that even trees and plants communicate with each other. All of life is communicating with each other. How do we expand our consciousness to have empathy and care and awareness for our needs and the needs of all life? For me, this is a very compelling question. If we are going to survive as a species, and if we are going to live in a way that has respect and care for all the life on this planet. So I thank you for listening, and I invite you to consider, if you'd like, what does interdependence mean to you? What does communion mean to you? What does empathy and acting on empathic connection mean to you? And what is one step that you can take this week to act on that awareness, that care, and that empathy? Thanks for listening.